Hi everyone and welcome back to Rachel's Enchanting Cakes. For today's tutorial I'm going to be showing you how to pipe these very simple cupcakes using just 3 different piping nozzles. These are excellent if you are a beginner to piping. As always, I'm going to show you everything in detail in a simple step-by-step, straight to the point format. Happy baking everyone, and let's make a start. For the two-toned rose, I use a raspberry coloured Pro Gel. I add this to some homemade buttercream. You can find a link to this recipe in the description below this video, and I simply mix it in. Alongside this, you're also going to need the brilliant white buttercream, which I will leave a separate link to in the description below this video. Using the Wilton 2D piping nozzle, this is one of my most used piping tips, and you will find it on all of these cupcakes that we're about to make. You want to simply cut off the end of a disposable piping bag and then place your 2D piping tip directly into the bag, just like so. I then use a tall glass to push the bag in and just wrap it around before filling it. The two-toned effect is really simple. Simply apply a layer of buttercream to the inside of the piping bag. You want to go all the way around until it's completely covered like it is here. Then, taking your second colour, simply fill the centre of the piping bag up. Do not overfill your piping bag. You want it roughly about half full. This is what it should look like. Because we haven't overfilled the bag, it means we will have more control over it. What I want to do now is cover my cupcake with a shade of green buttercream. You can use any type of green for this. Simply go over the top, and then if the rose does not cover all of the cupcake, you're going to see the green underneath, which will contrast with the green leaves that we will be adding. Now, gently squeeze the piping bag, and whilst squeezing, you simply want to start from the centre and go around in a circular motion. If you're uncomfortable with doing this at all, practice on some baking paper first. Using sprinkles of your choice, where you pulled the piping bag away, that's the best place to apply a few edible sprinkles just to cover up those small imperfections, and you want to do this before you add the leaves. Using the Wilton 352 nozzle, this is going to be used for our leaves, and I'm also using a coupler. Now if you've never used one of these before, you place it in the piping bag like we did with the previous nozzle, but as I show you here, you can apply one nozzle and you simply screw it on. But then if you wanted to change nozzles but use the same coloured buttercream, you can do, as long as the nozzle is the same size. This prevents wasting piping bag. After filling the piping bag with just one colour, I simply pipe around the edges of our beautiful two-toned rose. It matches the base of the cupcake, so all the colours work together, and there we have the first one completed. For our next cupcake, you will need again the Wilton 2D piping tip. This will be for the red rose. And here I also have the Wilton number 30 piping tip. This will make the white hearts. Now for this one, you're going to need a very vivid red buttercream. I have a full recipe and method on how to make this buttercream on my channel. It's American buttercream frosting, and there is a trick to get it this red colour. So just like we did with the previous rose, start in the centre of your cupcake, and whilst keeping that squeezing even, you want to go around in a circular motion, and you'll end up with this beautiful vivid red rose. Moving on to piping nozzle number 30 with a vivid white buttercream, you now want to pipe a few hearts. Now I use these on the final cupcake that I'm going to be showing you in a moment, so I do pipe more than what I need. It's very simple to do. Once you have piped these, you want to gently push and pull away. Do it in a heart shape and then simply freeze the buttercream. This will then allow us to remove the hearts and place onto our freshly baked cupcake. As soon as the buttercream is frozen, you will be able to remove this from the baking paper using a palette knife and place directly onto your beautiful cupcake. It really is as simple as that. So the final cupcake uses all three piping nozzles. Starting with the Wilton 2D, this is the one that we filled at the beginning. You want to pipe a miniature rose. Simply go around in a circular motion. Again, using the Wilton 2D piping tip that we used for the second cupcake with the vivid red American buttercream, start in the centre where your rose is going to be located and simply go around and flick away. You then want to repeat this process for the final rose, but with that vivid white American buttercream. Just a little tip for you. To avoid damage, keep on placing this cupcake in the fridge before you add a new rose. Using the same tip that we did for the first rose, you then want to add some leaves. I just pipe one on here. Simply go all the way around the cupcake and add as many as you want to. All you need to do now is add one of those frozen buttercream hearts. Now obviously you're going to be placing yours in a box, so make sure it's not too high. If you want to keep them flat on the top, do so. You can also add some extra sprinkles, but the idea is very simple. All we have done is used three basic piping tips. We have created three very different but stunning cupcakes. I also show you in the other tutorials how to make your own very vivid red buttercream. This is American buttercream frosting where I share my recipe, as well as how to make the vivid white buttercream frosting, which I know a lot of people tend to struggle with, but trust me, when you know what products to use, it is extremely simple to make. I really do hope I've helped you all again today. Thank you all for your amazing support, and I'll be back soon with an awful lot more new, completely free content. Happy baking, everyone.